Hey Lamaus, do that thing where you disappear. Like that, yeah. I'll come back again. Yeah, come on. Please. Holy fucking shit. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Yo, what? Mate, you guys are fucking real. Hey Lamau. Holy shit. Wait, can you disappear again? Disappear again. Come on. What the fuck? Yo, come back. Wait, come back. What the fuck? Holy shit.
In a world where co-hosts disappear for weeks at a time and spaghetti is eaten for breakfast, you are now entering.
Coming to a Google Play station near you.
A Google PlayStation? Is that what you just said?
What?
I don't know. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I like it though. That's a good welcome back because we've been gone for a little bit. If you guys couldn't tell already, we are the Pink Boys podcast, and this is, I don't want to say it's the most special, but it is the most special to me. Welcome to
very special.
The most special episode of the Pink Boys podcast. It's the Halloween edition. Yes, exactly.
That was so badly timed, but
no, I kind of liked that. There was a good air of finality to it. That was good. It was
professionals.
Yes, we are. We're certainly something. So today, my spooky compadres are Tyson and I. Our Australian is asleep. Ooh, that's really spooky. So there's nothing we can do about that. So I'll just start it off before we get going. I'll make the ground rules for our storytelling here because we will go over the markets briefly because I know some of you losers that still have money are into that. But after that, we're going to be telling our own.
Imagine still having money.
I simply could not be myself. Yeah. After we get a quick rundown of the markets, then we're gonna be going old school campfire on you guys, and I'm pumped for it. So
hell yeah.
But before we get moving on all of that, why don't you tell us how you're doing?
I'm doing great. I've been so good.
Yes, programming sentence.
Yeah, man.
Mentally and physically.
We just out here living.
Yeah, you gotta go like, yo, man, we just out here, man. We grinding everything, man. That is a good representation of what I think you've been through the last week. So at least you can make light of it. Tyson, how about you? How are you doing?
I've been fucking smashing.
What the fuck is that?
What?
You just farted again.
Oh, I didn't.
I wasn't the only one who heard that, was I?
I just heard like a slamming desk. That was weird.
I put my arm on my desk. What the fuck are you guys on about?
I didn't hear that at all. I don't know. I'm getting scared already. All right. Tyson, how you
What's
been?
happening?
I'm Gucci, bruh.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. All right. I'm glad to hear
you,
it.
Moyer? How's your week been?
Yeah, how you been? Oh yeah, I've heard.
Listen,
I've heard you've been on a little adventure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Pink Boys
I'll
goes
fill you
international
guys.
once again.
We do go international. I was in Edinburgh. I was in London. I was in Paris. I have plenty to say, but I'll keep it under wraps for now. Maybe
Who was
next
in
week.
Paris?
But that's why I went there, to answer the age-old question. So I'll be able to tell you guys the next week. But it was a good mix of wholesome tourist events and some real Euro trip, down in the dirt kind of stuff. So I did it all.
Trash.
Yes, I was some Euro trash for a little bit, but I tell you, I'm eating good these days. We got Counter-Strike major, League major, Phillies in the World Series, Eagles undefeated. I'm eating real good these days. I turn on that TV, I'm eating real good, and I'm consuming the good stuff. So it's a good time to be Kid Moyer. That's all I'm saying. It's a good time to be Kid Moyer and having internet access. So Phillies are on in about an hour, and a lot of our listeners won't even know what I'm talking about, and I'm sorry for you. So without further ado, we'll just move on along until we get to the campfire extraordinaire. We'll do the markets. Tyson, actually, I've seen a lot going on here and there. I've seen it's actually my only gauge of the market is just seeing how people in our Discord are reacting, and it's just like it's over, it's not over, over and over. So what is going on? Elucidate us.
So I was kind of wrong last episode when I thought it was going to go down a bit more. It actually pumped up, and I guess I should have seen it coming because it was chilling on support for fucking ages, and it wasn't breaking it at all. So, retard moment for me. But, yeah, we did pump, and I've been longing some of my shit coins on the rally up. I do think the market kind of tops out here for the next week or two because the stoke on most shit coins daily charts, they look super fucking topped out. So I think we have a down cycle for like maybe a week or two. And once Bitcoin breaks the fucking daily diagonal trend line, I think we should see 21.8 to 21.5. And if that breaks, we should see 24. And if that by some miracle 24 breaks, it should be open air up until 28, which I think should be the hard cap, the absolute hard cap.
I don't think any of that's going to happen, but more power to you. I think it's embarrassing that Bitcoin's still at 20K. You'd think with it hanging out this long, something would happen at some point, but
are we just going to ignore Doge?
Oh yeah, isn't that doing something?
Doge was like leading the alt.
It 3x'd.
Yeah.
Did it really? Oh crap! That means things are about to go down. Actually, yeah, I've learned enough to know that things are about to go down big time after that happened. So, yeah, all right.
You know,
I think that's a harbinger.
Link is pumping as well, so that's that's another bear signal.
Well, that's a bad counter signal to Doge going up. So,
I mean, it's still inside a range though.
Yeah, and it's not above 8. Anytime Link is in single digits, I'm sorry, it's just pointless. But it not to dwell on it too much, but I know we can't help ourselves. Link has just collapsed under its own gravity at this point. It's in the XRP realm for me, but you know, I could be completely wrong about it. Once you have a bloated HR, yeah. So
you know what's funny? Like the linkies that show for like 1K end of year, I think they've all gone and sold already because the only people left are people holding out for 81K. Apparently, that's a new meme. It's going to reach
that's not a new meme.
$81,000.
It's a really old meme, but it used to be just that meme, and now people actually take it seriously.
Yeah, I remember whispers of 81K way back in the day, some like paranoid schizophrenic outcome. But I haven't.
Do you want to know what it was? It is a schizo thing, but it's just such a stupid thing. So basically, some guy on some mysterious forum, which we've never heard of and have no associations with, posted like a photo of his desktop, and on the screen it was just like a chart of Link, supposedly in the year 2026, and it was at 81K. Now here's the thing.
Is that where it came from? What the fuck?
Yes, that's what it was from like 2019, 2018.
That's almost as dumb as that time traveling Twitter that you forced us to listen to.
Yeah, okay. So listen. So this is just like some inspect elemented edit of some website. Here's the thing. They were using Windows 10. And we're on Windows 11 as of like last year.
Okay, but some people are still on Windows 7.
Okay, but this is year 2026.
Okay.
So that'd be like the equivalent of people using 7 today. Or
I thought he went way in the future, like it was Jetson style or something. I didn't know it was only 2026.
You kind of just GTFO'd yourself there.
Windows 98 is the best Windows operating system ever made, so there's really nothing that can change my mind on that.
Wrong.
Nope. The best one is Windows Vista. I'm sorry.
Actually, you know what, Tyson?
So
No. I was going to say no. I think XP is objectively taking that crown.
XP is good, but I wanted Windows Vista so fucking bad because the aesthetics looks so good.
Yeah, I was just about to say Windows Vista's aesthetics are god tier.
I think you might be onto something.
I was desperate because I was fucking so upset because my PC at the time, it had like a Pentium 4 and it couldn't handle Windows Vista. And I remember like asking my dad, please,
I remember the Pentium
can we
4s
get
are sick.
Vista?
Pentium, Celeron,
Yeah,
Inceleron. Intel Inceleron. So here's the thing with Windows Vista, right? Windows Vista did nothing wrong, unironically. Basically, they'd launched it. So the hardware requirements were simply too high. Those that were not worthy of it were upgrading to it, if that makes sense. Like,
was it like
basically,
buggy as fuck, though, when it released?
It wasn't. No, it was just the hardware requirements were high. That's all it was. It was just it was too ahead of the game. Hardware itself hadn't caught up, so that's pretty much it. High-end rigs were fine. It was literally everyone else that was struggling.
I liked where you were going for a second there, because 95, 98, 2000, and ME were all similar aesthetic. But when XP came out, that was ushering in the new generation. And at the time, people hated it. But looking back, I think history proved XP right. When you got on a new Dell computer desktop on XP with the blue bottom bar and the green start button and the Teletubbies hill background, that was Windows, man. Like that was the future. And I didn't get it at the time. None of us got it at the time.
You know what it was? It had soul. That's what it was. It had the sounds and everything. And
yeah, it's like you know.
You know the funny thing about XP? It's the only operating system where I've been able to get viruses on my PC from.
Dude, the things that XP was just like an open stripper, like with its crotch open, accepting one. Dude, that thing would be like, right away, sir. I'll let you right in. Just like opening the door.
Like,
dude, I would fucking brick my family PC like every 4 months.
I remember we got Bonsai Buddy on there, that purple monkey that would just inject the computer like viruses right into your fucking veins. It's so funny.
You remember
Weatherbug,
LimeWire, Napster, all of that.
Oh yeah, LimeWire. Yeah, I downloaded.
Wait,
some, I can
download Finding Nemo for 5 megabytes? Hell yeah!
Yeah, I
Soulja Boy cranked.exe. Let's go.
Yeah, I tried to download Kirsten Dunst nudes that I didn't know didn't exist. So whatever.
So you want to know? Okay, so I wanna give a shout out to Soulja Boy here. He played LimeWire like an absolute genius. So LimeWire was popping off, right, and he was an up and coming artist. So in order to get exposure, what he did was his hit song, Crank That, he would rename it to the popular songs at the time. So like, you know, In the Club by 50 Cent, Smack That, Eminem, Akon, all that. And then he'd upload a song, rename it to that, and upload it onto LimeWire.
That's
and
amazing.
Then he'd get him up in the not the leaderboards, but like with the seeds and peers. So it's like up there. People kind of find his torrent for it, and they end up listening to his song, which was good. And
it was amazing. Yeah. Well, there was within the bowels of LimeWire, hidden amongst the static, there was a weird remix of that song where it was just Crank That RoboCop over and over. And it found its way onto my computer at some point, just like Crank That RoboCop for like 4 minutes. And I loved it. I don't know why it resonated. Me and my buddy were like dancing to it in the basement when we were like 10 or 12. It was fucking sick.
I mean, credit where credit's due, man. It takes
another fucking genius strat by Soulja Boy.
Don't say the video game console stuff.
No.
Oh, okay.
So you guys remember the song "Kiss Me Through the Phone" where he'd be like 678 9. You know, when that song popped off, you can actually call the phone number, but if you called it, you'd have to pay $3. And Soulja Boy actually owned the phone number, so he made like $2 million off that from just people calling that number.
Would it say anything back to you?
Yeah, it'd be like a girl saying, "Hi, I can't be at the phone right now, but I'll call you later," or some shit like that.
Wow! It's just like real life. So.
He is a genius. I think he's the first guy to first rapper to own a planet or something.
Is that true?
I think so. Yeah, he's also the first rapper to own an iPhone. Apparently, like Steve Jobs himself came to Soulja Boy and presented him the iPhone.
You gotta give him credit.
Everyone was everyone was like, "Oh, this is bullshit." No, he then pulled up an article and a video of Steve Jobs presenting him an iPhone.
Hey, he's kept cultural relevance, so that's impressive. I'll give him that.
I think he's a streamer now.
Yeah, he's probably on Twitch doing that whole thing. I wouldn't doubt it at all. So, all right, you guys got anything else left to clean up on the market with, or what?
Guys,
I think,
go ahead, Ari.
So I think Link has a bright future. It's
Yeah.
just price action wise, it's just not right now.
You know what? Why don't you go
Ironically, it does.
disappear for 2 weeks again?
Yeah.
All right, let me just call the Grays real quick.
Unironically, Link does actually look pretty
Take me
good
out.
though. Like if it breaks $8.15, it probably has open air up until like $10.
Wow, $8.15. I remember when we flash crashed to $8.15.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, I remember we flash crashed to $1.40. That was a good.
Ooh,
old
I
days.
remember that
When
one as well.
Ari's mom flashed me.
Okay, well, that's
Lovely.
yeah, lovely. That's what my mom would always say. She always go lovely if she like came in the room and I was watching something like something gory on TV. She'd go lovely. Like, but all right, so we're here, and I gotta say,
Real quick.
yeah.
Guys, I've been a naughty boy on Twitter, so follow me at my new Twitter account, Irelia Trades. I am LARPing as an e-girl, so just keep up the LARP with me. Just comment how beautiful I am on my trades.
I told Tyson if he gets some momentum, I'll be in there as a reply guy. So hopefully he can dunk on me. Like I'll be like, yeah, you don't know that. You don't know anything about trading. You're just a girl. And then he can be like, oh really? Fix your dress and make me look stupid. So that's what I'm going for. Maybe it's some sort of fantasy I have. I don't
Tyson
think that's
deserved
the
his
deeper
ban, I'm just
insight.
saying.
Yeah, towards the end there, he was completely out of hand. Just completely.
He's a
He was-
complete and utter fucking loser when it comes to Twitter.
What?
Yeah, well,
I was
he's
being
fully
based as
anonymous
fuck.
too.
I
No,
know. Tyson, you're that guy who's like, bro, I would like totally fucking knock you out.
Yes.
So you're person.
He was doing the whole not, he wasn't saying it like this, but he was doing the whole trad eat meat, get sun kind of thing. He wasn't saying that specifically, but he was doing the whole give these people no quarter, they don't deserve anything, beat them up on the
I wasn't
streets.
saying
He was
that.
doing the whole thing.
I
Eat
was
Subway,
embarrassed.
practice Muay Thai.
I just strongly implied that Kanye should take matters into his own hands with his wife.
Well, I'm surprised we made it 17 minutes without a supportive Kanye West comment, but I'll save that for another time. I'm letting the thing I've learned with Kanye over the years is it's like a wave. It comes in, you have to let it crash and go back out before you make any. He goes through waves, and right now he's in the middle of one. I'm gonna let it crash before I.
He has a song
make some
called Waves,
commentary. I'm sure he's got a lot of songs, so I'm sure he's got something named after something at some point or another. So,
Yeah, true.
but all right. So the moment that we've all been waiting for, and I've been bringing up every other week, is it's time to gather around. Get the campfire going. What's that? Hold on. I think
What's
someone's
coming
listening
up?
to us.
I think
Guys,
someone's driving up to the campfire.
I think our signals are being jammed.
Yes. Wait.
What's happening?
Snake?
Snake? Snake?
So gather around the campfire. We're all here. We all got something to say, and it's Halloween. So it's spooky out there, For Halloween, I usually watch the same movies. I watch The Mask of Satan, aka Black Sunday, and the original House on Haunted Hill. I don't know if you guys got any classics that you're into, I or Tyson, but you guys aren't cinematically mature enough to like
I
horror
am
movies.
scared of horror movies, but
You know,
I actually
I
watched
watched-
one
What did you watch?
recently in cinemas. I watched Smile. That was a mistake.
Oh, really?
That was a mistake. I did not know what I was getting into. I kind of my friend was like, come on, let's do something. And I was like, oh, fuck it. Just kind of rolled the dice, had no idea what I was getting into. And it turned out the film was just catered towards giving me a bad night of sleep. It was about some psychologist who basically got gang stalked by a demon, and everyone's gaslighting her, claiming she's schizophrenic. She also just so happens to have some childhood trauma with her mother and blah 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 blah. And basically,
Wow, he's just like me.
Yeah.
yeah, basically no one really believed her with her literal demon, and yeah, she's kind of just. I'm not going to spoil anything. It was good. It's a very well made movie, and I'd recommend watching it if you're into that kind of stuff.
That reminds me of Exorcism Emily Rose a little bit. I don't know why, but Tyson, what about you?
I actually took Moyer's recommendation and watched the original Scream.
Oh, good for you.
But it was kind of predictable. But I see why it was gripping at the time. It's a good film.
Well, there was. Basically, we live in a post-meta society where everything refers to itself and deconstructs itself. Scream was the first movie to actually deconstruct and comment on the horror genre as a whole and popularize it and kind of delve into it's the neon genesis of slasher horror movies, if you want to put it that way.
You know what horror film I hate so much?
Spooky-ocky.
That fucking film, The Cabin in the Woods. That fucking like post-ironic meta one. It's such a bad film, dude. Holy shit.
I don't hate that movie, but I can understand why someone wouldn't like it. It's perfectly permissible.
You know what movie scared the shit out of me as a kid? Cat in the Hat.
Oh, the live action one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the same problem with Spy Kids. That Spy Kids, when they would turn the guys into the monsters,
dude,
that
Spy
was
Kids
really
3D was a fucking banger.
Spy Kids 3D is it's a weird film.
I never saw them because the original scared me so much. They just changed them into these weird bucktooth blue guys, and they can't change back. And they're like, help us, save us, Fluke is... Like, that was scary. That whole thing was really frightening. That was really unsettling. So, I don't know why they thought that was good for kids, because that wasn't good for kids at all. It was a little frightening. So, but I'm just gonna go ahead right now and kind of dive in. And this isn't really a, do you think this really happened or not? This is just my personal story. And I'm hoping... That was so good. That was so good. So, feel free to jump in when appropriate, but I'm just going to go off the cuff here. And
this is my story.
Yes. And they're like, finally he's telling us what his uncle did to him. Like, no, not that story. It's a different story. So, this happened about 14 years ago when I was living in our old family house in Jersey. And I remember it was during the daytime, which makes it interesting. And I was talking to this one girl. Her name starts with a B. You bitch. I'll never forget about you. Anyways, we were in like kind of a tiff. And I got off the phone and I was... No. Breakfast at Tiffany's. And I was sitting on the couch like to get in a fight with someone.
Oh.
Really?
Sounds
I guess
right,
that's an Americanized term.
Girls called Tiffany tend to do that.
That's not what... Anyways, we got into a little bit of an argument. I got off the phone. I was sitting there watching, I think at the time it was the show called A Haunting. And then when I was downstairs on the couch, no one else was home. And this was a kind of an older house secluded in the woods a little bit. It was probably 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And while I was sitting there, my bedroom was directly above the couch in the main room. And while I was in there, in the main room downstairs, I heard one footstep in my room. And I thought, that's probably nothing. It's not that big of a deal. Then I heard a second footstep. And I thought, kind of like that. Wait, can I do that? It sounds like... Can you hear that?
Yeah, I got you. Go on, yeah.
Okay, so I heard a single footstep. Then I heard a second footstep, and it was enough for me to be like, that just sounded like someone was walking inside of my room. Then, finally, I heard someone do a full...
That's too much.
Yeah, that's like I didn't live in a musty dungeon in Vervindell, Skyrim or something.
Yeah, Moy just lives in the fucking sewer.
God, that's just a PlayStation 1 sound. What the fuck? These are so bad.
Just intelligent cube noises. So after I heard those first few sets of footsteps, I got up from the couch and I was very alert. I was alert as you could possibly be. And I just immediately heard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I heard 10 distinct footsteps in my room, motioning that they were coming towards the stairs. And I freaked out. I said, who's upstairs right now? Who's upstairs? And I didn't hear anything. And then it was quiet for half a second, because the second I asked who was upstairs, the footsteps stopped. And then when I was quiet for about 3 seconds, it went bang! And the entire house shook.
Yo.
The whole house shook like it was an earthquake. And I literally was off kilter for a second because the house shook. I got a jolt of adrenaline and sprinted upstairs to my room because I wanted to see if there was an actual person up there. I guess I was ready to roll. I don't know why.
How old
I guess I was feeling... I was like 15 or 16, something like that.
Damn.
And I don't know, maybe it was a poltergeist activity brought upon from like my teenage psychokinesis or something. But when I went upstairs,
the succubus was getting ready for you.
Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. We can get tonight. Maybe she'll call me again tonight. It's Halloween. So then when I went back upstairs, there was nothing there. And hey, you can think about it one way or another. Old house, this, that, and the other. I know I was in my bedroom, or I was in the main room, and I heard footsteps in my bedroom. They stopped when I yelled, and then the entire house shook like it was an earthquake. It was very real. It was a ghost. I'm not sure what it was, but it was terrifying. And that was like my big I believe in ghost experience. I already did anyways, but that was one of my bigger ones that definitely did some work to me.
Did you at any point in prior to that experience smoke weed or any of that shit?
No, I actually never drank until I got to college. I was kind of a loser in that sense, at least. So yeah, no, it was nothing like that.
American.
Yeah. And this isn't it. Well, you saw that thing that someone posted where seeing UFOs is strictly like a Western phenomenon and no one else reports seeing them or something. Like
That's not
only
true,
in
though,
America
is it?
and Europe. Yeah, because half the UFO videos come out of like Mexico and South America where it's like, oh, look at the, whatever. Like, see, like a UFO.
What? Amigo, there's a sombrero flying in the sky.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. I don't know. Yeah, that was that. My Portuguese is a little rough.
Holy shit! Did you see that Crunchwrap Supreme soar across the sky?
You said that, not me. In the spirit of campfire, that's my story. So whoever's up next, feel free, because I can go all day. I can do this all day.
I'll go after Ari. I'll save mine for.
Okay.
I mean, I've got okay. How about we just kind of alternate? So I'll tell a story from my childhood.
Yeah. Then it's Tyson's turn because it's a campfire.
Yeah. So I may have told this one before, but I'll retell it with some more spooky.
Is it the UFO one? Because that's a really good one.
Which one?
Oh, wow. I'm talking to the wrong person. I'm asking the wrong person. Never mind. You go. I don't know why I even I got excited and interrupted you. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. If it's the video, that was actually like a year or two ago. I knew you guys back then.
Okay. All right. So it's one other than that. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
This one's a kid one.
Oh, I'm excited.
I got moyed when I was a kid.
Kid Moyer. All right, go ahead.
So this is something that was actually quite a big part of my childhood. Looking back now in hindsight, though I didn't know that at the time. Between the ages of, well, as far back as I can remember, until like late single digits, my age that is. I would always have these dreamy like experiences at night, whereby, but I was very much conscious of the fact that I was in bed and blah 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 blah. So I was very lucid. So I'd have these experiences where I'd be like floating in a void, and I'd be tasked with something by something that I was not aware. I was aware of, but I wasn't aware of, and didn't really question. And it was like to kind of hold, like with my conscience, like kind of with my like conscious hand, like my astral form hand or whatever. I'd have to like hold this like spherical orb. It was like a very smooth, like perfectly smooth, dark kind of spherical orb, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say your ball sack. Sorry, you're doing great.
Kind of had to. I was tasked with like kind of holding them up, as if like they're gonna fall, and I have to keep it from falling. And it would start off like infinitely small, It's like very easy to kind of hold, right? It wasn't an issue for my childlike self. And then like all of a sudden they would grow in size, and they would keep growing and growing and growing to the point where it's like beyond human comprehension. And it wasn't the fact that it was like a material sphere that was like growing in size, like, whoa, it's like I'm in space looking at the sun. It was like, it was overwhelming, because like this orb, or this like this object, or whatever the fuck it was, this entity, it was like kind of like swallowing my being at the same time. Like feeling like I felt like I was being kind of pulled into its gravity, and like I'm gonna get swallowed alive. And it was like my conscience was being sucked out of it like a demon, and I was like scared shitless by it. And it was like I was still trying to like hold this up. It was like I was putting all of my will into holding this up, and like to no avail. It was like this is gonna sound weird, but as a kid,
oh, this is okay. Go ahead.
So what I'm about to say next is gonna sound weird, but this, I think, was probably one of my first kind of insights into like God being real. And I know that sounds I'll tell you, it sounds weird, but hear me out, right? So it felt like all of my, like, I felt really, for some reason, I felt overwhelmingly guilty and like broken and sad, and kind of like I'd sinned a lot, right? And it was like this thing was like the epitome of guilt, sin, and just like a general feeling of like a,
let it out,
like an unnerving, overwhelming feeling of imagine being in the presence of like just guilt and like fear and like kind of emotional pain in like a highly concentrated orb. It was like that, and I was pondering at that, and I was like, holy shit, this is so much. Like, this is so much. My kid like brain was getting like fucking traumatized by it. I was like getting fucked by this orb, like on like so like just on the daily for years or whatever.
on the daily, on the reg.
Your boy was getting fucked up.
This is a weird question, but like, was the guilt internal or external? Like, was it coming from somewhere, or was it inside you?
It was like there was my own guilt, like, was in there. It was like my personal guilt coupled with the fact I couldn't complete this task, or like I'm failing to do this, or maybe it was something like disappointed in me, like angry with me or something. But like this orb or whatever, it had like I could feel like, I don't know, it didn't make me feel good. So here's the thing, right? I felt like, wow, this is so much. And then like, and this wasn't when I was a kid. This was looking back when I was a little bit older. I was like, well, in like religion, they talk about how like God is like all merciful and he'll like forgive you of all sin or whatever, right? Or like in the case of Christianity, like Jesus took on everyone's sin. Like he died for your sins.
Are you having Christ-like allegories or something?
No, not from. No, I'm not saying I'm like. I feel like this was like insight into it, because obviously I couldn't comprehend that. But I was like, this is like really, really overwhelming, and this is probably like a like a minuscule insight into like the kind of like what it means to sacrifice. You know what I mean? Like,
certainly.
I was like, wow, this is a lot, and I'm like, wow, this actually kind of gives me like a this kind of gives me some scope into like why his sacrifice is a big deal. I was like, huh, like I like,
what? At such a young age? That's crazy. All right.
Yeah, so think about it, right? Like, I mean, bearing in mind, I went to like a very Christian school or whatever, blah blah blah, and like they teach you all of that stuff, and it's like, yeah, okay, cool. So like that's, you know, that's a nice sentiment. He sacrificed himself for sins, but like even as a kid or whether you're older, I don't think even a lot of older people actually like realize this, but like just the idea of like taking on the collective sin of humanity, like in the past, present, and future. Like that's so fucking crazy.
Damn.
And this was like
pretty,
this gave
gargantuan task if you think about it.
Yeah, this. So like I said, as a kid, to me, this orb thing, which like was like bigger than the universe itself, it grew to like bigger than the universe itself, like so ridiculously overwhelming, and it was like contained full of this like emotion or whatever. Like this gave me some kind of like insight, and I was like, holy shit, this is a gargantuan task. Like this, like I can't even begin to imagine. Like, so is this what God means when he says like, you know, it's a big deal to take on everyone's sin? I'm like, you know where I'm going with this?
Yeah,
I
want to make clear.
It's existentially frightening.
It
yeah,
seems
I don't
like
want to.
You just got a sense of perspective of what Jesus.
And I just want to make clear, I am not claiming like any form of like divinity here or like anything of the sort. I'm just saying I feel like the way I understand it, like from a comparative standpoint, is that I got a kind of sense for taking on that much guilt and fear and just suffering and just and here's the thing, I don't think this orb thing was like a very nice being. If it was that, I don't think that was its intention. I don't think this was like God like singing to me like, oh, be religious, this is what it means. I think this was like some more,
maybe he was trying to like sap something from you, you know?
Maybe, yeah, perhaps.
You just made me think of something real quick, and I'm not trying to interject and sneak another story in, but there was one time when I had this dream, and I can still remember it from when I was 6 or 7 years old, where it was a giant volcano, and the scale was insane, and it was a huge mountain, and I could just see a line of angels from the top of the mountain all the way to where I was, like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of them, and they would all walk by just smiling at me. It was a really creepy dream, but I had this like overwhelming sense of like comfort from it too. Like this old lady angel was smiling at me.
Depiction.
It was. I still remember it from when I was 6 or 7, but it also frightened me at the same time because of the scope of it. It's very strange putting that stuff into perspective, you know?
Scope is like, yeah, it's a really important part of these kind of these really weird dreams. Here's the thing, right? So we've all seen cool landscapes, like really beautiful places in the real world. Imagine yourself like standing atop a cliff, right, and just looking out onto like a beautiful landscape. You see the scope of it, and it's like big or whatever. But like we only have 2 eyes, and like yeah, we can judge distance or whatever, but you couldn't reach out and then like grab that massive like tree in the distance and like really get an idea of how big that is. In this dreamlike state, it's like you're there, you're standing up top the cliff and you're everywhere at the same time. It's like a 5th dimensional experience, if that makes sense.
Kind
so
of
you can actually you get a sense, you truly get a sense. No, Tyson. So anyway, this went on for like a long time. And there was this one time where I kind of, bearing in mind, when I say these are like dreams, I was still very much conscious of the fact I was like laying in bed, I could just wake up and get out of my bed and continue this. So one of these times, I kind of jolted out of my bed because I felt something like touching my leg, whatever.
That's hot.
Oh, okay. I was a kid. Yeah, you would say that, wouldn't you?
For Moyer.
Sorry, I take it back.
I was like, I think I was about 7 years old at this time.
You just
no
know.
comment.
So
I will not be taking any comments at this time.
Kid Moyer. So
know.
I look down at like my thigh or like my leg, and I see like
Cum stain.
it was like this like at first. At first, I thought it was like a moth.
Okay.
But it was like and I wasn't frightened by it or anything. I was like kind of in like an dopey state. But like,
Yep.
it was like imagine like a flower, right? But each like petal is like a moth wing, right, going around in a circle, and like a bunch of eyes on it. And it was like larger than any moth I'd ever seen. Like it was bigger than my hand.
Oh.
And it was like kind of like rotating and like cruelly and like wriggly movie and like had eyes on it, and it was just like looking at me. I was like, what the fuck? And I like went to slap it, and it just fucking disappeared.
Yeah, that's interesting because that could be something psychological. That reminds me of one time I woke up and there was a full like size of my head tarantula on the windowsill right in front of me. And I woke up and I was like, there's a giant tarantula right in front of me. Like, what the fuck is going on? And I ran out of my room in real life, full well thinking there was a giant tarantula on my windowsill. And then I came back and it was gone. And but that's some sort of like not ancient, but that's an omen of sorts. I don't know, like a Jungian or Freudian or something, like seeing strange insects and creatures when you're half awake. There's something to that, or maybe they're just real. I don't know.
No, I definitely agree, because that wasn't the only time I saw like a weird insect thing, but that was like that was a big one, because that wasn't it wasn't a moth. It was just it was a weird creature. Like this other time there was this, like, I remember it's this place in my house by like between the garden and a dining room. It's like a little I've forgotten what the word is. Anyway, a conservatory-ish area. A massive, like a fucking massive, gigantic tarantula-like spider, like the size of like a cat, right? And it would just like sit in the corner, and every time I walked past it, like it would look at me, and if I walked towards it, it would walk towards me. But if I walked backwards, it would walk backwards. But if I walked like past it, nothing would happen.
He's like, keep walking, white boy.
That was only once though. That was the only time that happened. Yeah, but yeah, these insect thingies. It's like, I think that there's got to be something to it, because like it's like you said. There's like the ancients would kind of speak a lot about. I had
a very, very good friend who had something really bad happen in his life, and before it happened, for a month at a time, he would just find spiders in weird places, like that no one ever would. And like, I don't come in contact with many, but he said like weird, big, kind of not naturally domesticated to the region spiders. He would just find them, and then something very bad happened to him because it's like an omen. So
apparently, spiders, they're quite spiritually significant.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I know. Apparently in Islam, God used spiders to protect one of the prophets or something.
Oh, jeez. I don't want him to protect me with one. That's no good.
I don't know. So it's something like one of the prophets went into a cave, and then like some guys, which I will not name, were out to kill him, and. God, God sent a bunch of spiders to like create like a web over the opening of the cave. It went right
wow, it's just like my Lord of the Rings movies. Well, that's good. That's some. Oof, I wasn't ready for that depth. Jeez, Tyson, why don't you reel us back into to Spooky Town there? I just let my existential dread sneak in, so that's scary at its own level. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think you like this one because it's like a wholesome turn. Okay. I've got one angelic story and one demonic story. I've got two wolves inside of me, twisted fucking psychopath. All right, but the first one is actually when I was fucking I think like 7 years old, and I swear to God this fucking happened, right? Like, okay. I'm not making any of this shit up. I wasn't dreaming or anything. This literally happened. But
you were definitely awake, just straight up.
Yeah. Okay. I had this this metal box, right? Like it was a tin box that you put.
Is it a secret box?
No. It's like a metal box that you would put like fucking small shit inside. It's like the size of a matchbox, basically.
Yeah, he's just weird Chinese stuff that he does.
No, I was making a SpongeBob reference.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I just got it. Go ahead.
And I just learned like what God is at the time, because my sister went to church, and I asked her like, "Where are you going?" And she said church, and I said, "What is it? Like, why are you going?" And then she told me about God and how she was going to worship and stuff. And I was curious, and so I had this toy car.
Let's go.
And I was playing with it, and then I thought about what she said about like God and stuff, and I was wondering like, does he actually exist? And so I put my toy car inside this tin box, and I said, okay, and I closed it so I couldn't see it anymore. And I said, okay, God, if you're real, then make this car disappear. And I swear on my fucking life, when I opened it, it was gone.
Schrodinger's car.
Yes.
I swear on my
I got a good one for you, kid. Really?
It's like God was like, ka-chow.
He's like, this is an easy one. That's just fucking. There's people like praying for signs their entire lives and die without a sign. Then Tyson has this.
Like, wasn't another one where like Moses was like standing atop a mountain and he was like, it's like Almighty. It's like, oh, holy Father. It was like, Almighty God or something, please show me a sign. And then God like blew up a mountain and he passed out. And then here's Tyson. He's like, make this car disappear.
Yeah, God was like, I'll make a car disappear in 2,000 years. Thank you for your service. That's it.
No, but I mean, I believe you, Tyson. I mean,
why not?
Kid, why not? Yeah.
Holy shit. Because there was no other way that there was no other way that it could have like I thought like maybe there was a fucking hole at the bottom, but there was nothing. It's like a solid metal box and it just fucking disappeared.
Ah, apparently God is a lot more kind of open about his power level with kids.
But I will say though,
that's a really good point. Yeah.
That was my one sign, and I've asked for signs after that, and I haven't gotten anything.
You shouldn't need any, but I get what you're trying to say. But that's not the whole purpose of faith. Isn't because God can come down and make a car disappear, or make that girl that you hate disappear. So,
you have to you gotta understand where he's coming from, though, and
of course,
I mean,
that's
people want a sign.
That's the struggle of being human. Absolutely.
I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, the other thing you have to consider is if God was to just like give us a sign like that, where it's like, all right, so I guess we have to believe in him now.
Yeah, people
like
would
that
believe
kind
out
of that
of fear,
really takes away from the
which ruins it.
From like the point about like us having free will and like having to choose to believe in God and obey Him or wherever it may be, right?
It's called the faith, the struggle. There's a movie that came out that talked about that with the Andrew Garfield, aka Spider-Man, and I think it was called like The Silence of Faith or something along those lines, where like a monk was working so hard just for a sign and he never got one, and that's not what having faith is about. So it's just interesting. But because I mean, but Tyson, you've got your car. That's more than most people get in a whole lifetime. So you should be good to go. You should be good to go. So.
I do have a fucking demonic story that scared the shit out of me, and this actually happened like I think in 2022. I mean, sorry, 2020 during the election. So
Donald Trump.
So I went to so it was around the time of the 2020 election, right? And I was playing League with my friend, and he was on there. So we were on Discord and we were just like chatting and stuff. And then halfway through the game, there would be like this sort of static that started happening whenever that it was like a small bit of static and would start growing, and eventually, yeah, exactly like that. But eventually, it would be so loud that I couldn't even hear my friend's other side at all. And at first, I thought he was fucking with me, like playing some shitty sound or whatever. But the fucking static sounded like it sounded like pretty fucking demonic. Like there was some sort of like growling that came from it. And then here's the thing, the static subsided, and my friend was and as it was subsided, I could hear my friend in the background like still talking as if I was still there. So it's like he didn't even realize that I wasn't even talking back to him.
So I don't think this on Discord?
Yeah, he was on Discord.
That's the interesting part.
Oh, actually, no, not on Discord. It was like the League voice chat.
The league demon strikes again.
See, is it?
It's like that, but like way more staticky and like aggressive.
That's scary, man.
That happened once, and then I told him about it, and he's like, "Oh, that's fucking weird." And then it happened like literally 2 minutes after that.
Really?
Well. Like, it happened twice.
So you acknowledge it and everything, and you do think there was like a distinct noise behind it, like a. creepy noise.
Whatever the sound was, it sounded creepy as fuck. It was demonic as fuck, and it was aggressive as well.
What are you buying?
But the thing is,
stranger?
right? The noises were like shrouded in static, so you kind of get like these auditory illusions. Like, is that growling or is that just some weird fucking static?
Oh, like matrixing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. So you just reminded me, Tyson. This was my first introduction to the paranormal, and I don't talk about it as much because I wasn't fully awake. But there was a CD I loved when I was younger. It was by this band called Everclear, and it was called So Much for the Afterglow. It's just like crappy like Gen X grunge album that, I don't know. I knew every square inch of it. I listened to it every night of my life. And I went on a snowboarding trip and with my church. And at the end of it, we all went to sleep in the... Yeah, well, this church later shut down because the head of it was, molesting certain people. That was it. Yeah, so there were a lot of...
Explains a lot about your behaviors.
No comment. There was a lot of... There was a lot of, let's just say there was a lot of spiritual depravity in this church, and people saw things in this church. So I was sleeping in the basement of it one night, and I was falling asleep listening to my favorite album, Everclear, So Much for the Afterglow. And as I was falling asleep, I started hearing through the headphones people talking about me and whether I believed in God or not. So it was saying my name, so we'll just say Kid Moyer. Yes. But it was in like intellectual sounding voices, like, does he believe or not, blah, blah, blah. And it was like people arguing with each other about me. And then all of a sudden, when I started paying attention to it, an overshadowing demonic growl started going through my headphones in my mic, in my head. So it was like, does he believe this? Does he believe that? And then it went, blah, blah, and like just demonic screeching through my headphones. And it couldn't have been the CD, and it could have been the radio because I didn't have that function on the whatever the thing was. And I clicked the power button on my Walkman, and nothing was happening. Nothing was changing. It was still demonic growling. So I threw it across the room, and I woke up everyone because we were all sleeping in the same room, and no one had any idea what happened. They were like, "Go back to sleep, you fucking loser." So it was bizarre, and it was creepy, and I'll never forget about it. That church has now shut down, and it's never been able to reopen, and very, very bad things happened there. What that pastor did isn't even the first thing that happened at that church that brought it down. There was also like a family that kept their kid in a cage, and they were on Oprah and all this stuff. Yeah, it was. Fuck? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So, it was very creepy.
So I have two things to say about that.
Yeah.
Wait, how old are you again?
I was like 14 or 15 when that happened. I was 14.
Okay, so you're well.
I have a question about the music. Was it like aggressive, like heavy metal, or was it?
No, it's 90s alt rock basically.
Okay.
If you ever want to listen to it, Everclear, So Much for the Afterglow is one of the songs on it, and it's really good. I still like it to this day.
So there's no part in the album that you could have mistaked for growling?
Oh, no, I listened to that album front to back a million times. No, it was like the demonic static growling that you're talking about, but more defined. Like, that is a demonic yell through my headset, in my ears right now, after people were just talking about me and saying my name through my headphones on this CD player. So it was disturbing. It was really disturbing.
You must have heard about how like fucking quote unquote ghost hunters would use like EMF radios to
EVP. That's gonna be me.
That's it. Yeah, EVP. They'd like tune into different frequencies and supposedly communicate with these spirits or whatever. Probably the way I understood the way I always understood it was that the way I understand it now is that like spirits are in like another kind of parallel reality to us, and I guess the crossover point between them is like these frequencies, and maybe that's how they can like
that's what I think happened. And I think if I had an EVP thing and started messing around, maybe I could get something going here.
So. Oh yeah, I've never tried that, but would you be open to do that?
Oh, I'd do it. I'd do it in a second. So, you know what? Let's all just be quiet.
Would you want to risk, like, a demon following you around?
No.
You know how, like, I've read apparently, when you're fucking around with, like,
Ouija boards?
not just Ouija boards, but like EVP machines are like
Luigi boards.
If you're fucking around with like just these weird kind of entities, like Skinwalker Ranch as well, that comes to mind. Apparently these things are contagious, so like they latch onto you, and then they latch onto the people that you then talk to as well, and it kind of just spreads like a virus.
Yeah, it turns you into a psychic vampire of sorts. That's my problem, and that's the thing that holds me back from really doing a lot of this stuff, because I find it incredibly interesting, is if it ever got onto someone that I care about just because I mess with it, I couldn't live with that. So, and that's a very real thing.
Yeah.
Well, here's a compromise.
Yeah.
How about
people think it's fucked, but it's actually like it's documented within like.
Oh no.
Come on, you know Skinwalker Ranch, right?
Of course, I read that book. It sucked.
Researched what by George Knapp?
Yeah, I hated it, and I liked the story too. But that book was really lame. And the documentary was lame too. It's such a cool place. I don't know why they have to ruin it with dumb stuff. But whatever, keep going.
Yeah. So, actual scientists have reported this behavior. I mean, that's all I'm saying. There's like some actual like Redditor grounds to this phenomenon.
What were you gonna say, Tyson?
Here's a compromise to getting infected by like the demonic virus. We could just send fucking Adam there, and then we'll kick back and watch the cameras.
Hey, where's the ghost cunt? Where's the ghost cunt? I love that we messaged him to record.
Fucking suicide force, yeah.
Any minute after right after we finish up the episode, we're like, what the fuck, Khan? You just recorded without me.
He's on Call of Duty right now. I just saw him get on Modern Warfare 2. It says he's been on for 2 minutes.
What?
So, yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I just saw it come up on Steam, which I don't know how I'm Steam friends with him. I didn't know that happened. But yeah, it's just like, okay. Well, fair enough. So... I got another one unless you guys got something else. I got something real quick if you don't. But if you got something, go ahead.
Fuck it. I mean, now you brought up the thing about the UFO encounter a couple of years ago, which you guys have seen. I knew this is a couple of years ago. This is
great.
This was 2020 or 2021, so not that long ago at all. And I have actual video of it as well. So basically, one of these days I was just trading as usual. Very schizo times for me at the time. And I was kind of just chilling. I was in a very demoralized kind of state, just like hoping for something good to come for me. Anyway, so
was this post-COVID?
Yeah.
Okay.
During the lockdowns, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was. It was a normal night, probably about 11 p.m. I go to open my window to get some fresh air in my room, and I look up and I see this like glowing orby UFO, I guess, doing its thing. And I was like, huh, interesting. Usually I just like stare at something like that and just see it like kind of move around here and there and kind of blink, blah blah blah. But this time, no, I decided, you know what, I'm going full schizo and I'm trying my luck here. So I stuck my head out the window and just started talking to this light in the sky.
Perfectly normal behavior, well-adjusted behavior.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I just said, "Fuck it, I'm doing this." I stuck my head out there. And I started talking to it. I was
mask off.
I was literally just like, "Yo, are you an alien?"
I can't laugh at you because you have the whole thing on video. It's incredible. Keep going.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, if you guys are aliens, please, like, at this point, I'm too, like, depressed and demoralized to even be shocked. Just, like, give me a sign and give me something to be excited about in my life, because I'm down in the dumps. You guys know what happened back then. I'm not going to get into that, but I was like, just, like, give me a sign. And they, like, just disappeared. Like the light just fucking poof, gone. It's like, the fuck? It's like, guys, hello? And they kind of just like come back, and I was like, wait. And I was like, oh, okay, let me play around with this. So like, I gave it a few seconds or whatever, and I was like, okay, disappear again. Show me if you can hear me. Disappear again. And it disappeared. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, okay, come back again. And it came back. And I was like, oh, maybe it's just like, maybe it's something passing over. It's just a coincidence. I'm timing it right. So like, I played around in the timing, like once or twice, like just to make sure it was me. It was me doing this, or them responding to me. And at this point, I was like, wait, I was like kind of shook. So I'd like taken out my camera like midway through this, and I'm like recording it. This is what you guys see, like the whole like the blue orb thing, and you see like the ring in it, and the kind of like donut thing going on. And yeah, well, and I'm like saying like, holy shit, you guys are real, and like disappear, do this and that, and
yep. My favorite part about that whole story is that I didn't know what you looked like or anything. So my only introduction to you outside of how you type was a video of you recording a UFO going, hey, Lamouse, disappear, hey, Lamouse. Hey, you're calling him a Lamouse. It's fucking funny. But it's a legit YouTube video or a UFO video. It's legit. It's one of the most legit UFO videos I've ever seen in my life, and it's actually happening as he says these things.
Oh yeah, hold on.
I can't make fun of the story.
UFO? How clear was it?
I'll send you. I'll send you it.
Yeah, send it to Tyson. I was blown away. I couldn't believe that it was real. I really couldn't believe it was real.
I'll send it to you right now.
Hey, look at the A-Lamo.
I go up to her like, hey, Lamau, yo, what's up? I was like, yo, do that thing where you disappear. And I was like, holy shit.
Hey, Lamau.
I'll send it to you now, Tyson. I'll actually play the audio so you guys can hear it at the same time. So let's see. It's on private on my personal YouTube channel. It's maybe should I include it in this episode? Like at the end?
You can if you want. If you need a second, do you need a second to look for it? Because I can tell a story real quick.
I found it already.
All right, go ahead. Post it up.
I'm just gonna post the link for you guys to see.
Live reaction.
yeah. Go ahead and play that, Tyson.
Pink Boys reacts. I filmed Go ahead, Tyson. You can watch it.
No.
Ayla Mouse, do that thing where you disappear.
Damn, it's actually pretty fucking clear.
Yeah. You can look at the comments as well.
Dude, that's a lot crazier than I remember it being. I'm actually kind of scared right now. I'm not gonna lie.
You kind of see like it's a ring.
Yeah, the little like.
It looks like a flying jellyfish.
It's like when Bob Lazar spoke about like how these things look in the air, he's talking about apparently like if you look at them from like the bottom whatever, or like while they're high in the sky, the way their like gravity propulsion thing works like causes like an optical illusion. Like it causes the light to bend around them and create like a donut shape like that. And you see like the whole like donut thing and like the little dot in the middle. It's weird, right?
You know what you should do? Maybe
well, I showed my mum this, by the way. Like I brought her into my room and I was like, "Yo, look at this," and she was like, "The fuck is that?"
She's like, "Take your meds, honey." I thought you say, "I showed you my UFO. Answer me." Hold on, let me. Yeah. Why don't you for the thumbnail or something for the episode, just do a still image of this or something.
Yeah. Look at the comments. I can't remember where it was I posted this. I posted this on like another thing, and it got like over 1,000 views in like an hour. I guess it got spread around.
Dude, I can see this on the grainiest, crappiest compilation YouTube videos ever. Just someone in England recorded it. Oh, dude, it's so good. Look at this guy. This guy left a long comment.
When you filmed this, Ari, were you like in max zoom, or were you just like chilling, like no zoom at all?
It was a little bit zoomed in, but like nothing crazy.
Dude, that's better quality than most YouTube. I mean, hey, it's better quality than a flying witch in Guadalajara or whatever.
That was on my phone as well, by the way. I wish I had like like an optical zoom DSLR or something. That's the thing, right? Now everyone always complains about how like, oh, everyone's got like a bajillion pound smartphones in their pockets, right? Why can't they take a picture of a UFO? Have you ever tried to take a picture of like a plane or a helicopter from your phone?
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's like we don't have like fucking zoom lenses on our thing, you know?
Yeah, but with how incredible this video is, they're running out of excuses. You kept it pretty still, and you
oh,
weren't
dude,
just going,
my hand,
oh my god, and shaking your hand.
It was so fucking. I had to like properly like, I like wedged my hand into like a bit like in the corner of my windowsill, and I was like really like trying to keep it stable and stuff. But
Jeez, that's amazing.
I'll play some of the audio like through this so like people can hear it in the episode if they're listening to it on Spotify because they can't see the video otherwise. But you can hear my retarded reaction. Hey, Lamaus, do that thing where you disappear like that. Yeah. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah, and it's a large blue ring with an orange ring inside of it. Yeah.
Yeah, now that you mention it more, it really does look like a fucking blue jellyfish in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was freaking out. I was freaking the fuck out.
That's amazing. Man.
Yeah. Nothing like quite like that's happened since.
Well, I'm always really open to, like, I love aliens and ghosts and everything, but I'm actually a huge realist when it comes to UFO stuff. I've only seen one thing in my life. I very rarely think things are UFOs, and I think there's a lot of misinformation out there about them, but there was one time I was at the Jersey Shore. I was drunk with a friend, and there was some other girl there, and we went out back to, like, smoke a cigarette or something. I was 18 or 19, and we looked up in the air, and there was an extremely silent triangle UFO craft with 3 lights, one at each corner, that just skimmed.
TRB-3?
I guess so. It skimmed below the clouds, not a single noise. Completely silent. And my friend, who's an extreme realist and annoyingly skeptic about these things, said that was a UFO. And he's like, "Did you see that?" I was like, "Yeah, I saw that." And the girl we were with, she was a skank, whatever. She's like, "Oh my god, I saw that too." Whatever. I hooked up with her. Who cares? And so it was bizarre. It was
this
was
triangle
bizarre.
ones.
Yeah.
So in the schizo scene, the UFO scene, people either speculate that it's either like aliens or that it's actually the reverse engineering effort of the US. So some people think that some people think the triangle ones are like the US government's like take off of like a UFO crash they received. Like that's their attempt at reverse engineering.
Because didn't fucking Bob Lazar say that his craft was like all smooth and shit?
Smooth brain.
Like there was no right angle.
Yeah,
yeah.
There's all that, but I think the reason why people believe the triangular one is the US is because there's an actual patent that you can look up right now out there by like the US Air Force or whatever of like a triangular shaped anti-gravitic vehicle that uses like nuclear. It uses like some kind of nuclear propulsion. It's not ionic either. It's like electromagnetic nuclei manipulation or something, like some ridiculously stupidly exotic thing, and it's literally a triangle with like 3 dots in every corner and stuff. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I could totally believe that because it would be in similar shape to the Nighthawk or whatever that stealth plane was. The only thing that made me think it wasn't I guess currently known technology, when those stealth aircrafts fly over you, they do make a noise. They eventually make a noise after they pass you. They're pretty loud, like any other vehicle be. But this was completely silent, so maybe it is that newer technology you're talking about being tested. It was 100% real. I definitely saw it. I wasn't on any drugs. I had drinks, but that doesn't make you hallucinate and see UFOs.
Those stealth bombers are also kind of fucking. There's talk about like maybe the stealth bombers are like an early test of some of the technology, like cloaking and stuff. Like
that would make sense because the fucking going back to the Bob Lazar thing, they did say that the craft did bend like radio waves and stuff around it.
It could.
I don't think
maybe they got that tech from that.
Dude, all this stuff we couldn't have figured it out on our own. That's what really blows my mind.
That's
there's no way. The way technology's developed over the past 100 years, it makes no sense to me. I think there was definitely some help from
you know
someone.
what
I
fucking
feel
blows
like
my mind? Like the existence of like a computer chip. Like you're fucking telling me that we're somehow able to get billions of fucking transistors on a chip the size of like a Dorito chip? Like
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
I was going to say that, like,
Yeah.
transistors on their own and logic gates, that anyone can do that, really. It's just a smart... It just takes a smart mind.
Oh, anyone can do that.
No.
Okay,
When
do
I
it
say
right now,
any...
then.
No, listen. No. Logic gates and transistors, I'm meaning... On a larger scale is what I meant. Anyone can do that. Like, yeah, very, very smart people came up with that stuff. But yeah, getting billions of them on like a really small silicon wafer, that's
Yeah, we're
crazy.
fucking like talking the molecular level at this point. Like,
Oh,
that's so
I think
weird.
we're like
we haven't even
3
seen half the
nanometers.
stuff we've never even seen what a germ looks like. They're not. I don't even.
That's
believe
not
them,
true.
so.
You can get a mic.
No, you
Moyer-
can't see what
Moyer-
a germ looks like.
Okay, no, listen. When I was studying biology back in school, I looked at a moving bacteria under a microscope. You can't deny that.
Yeah.
That was no. Hold on. Let me Google this.
Was that also MK Ultra as well?
Was that also?
I think what you were looking at through that microscope wasn't a germ. Yeah, that was a Kanye
A
West type
hologram.
operation there. Let's just say
Okay.
they can only be seen through a microscope. Yeah, I'm not buying that. I'm not
Okay,
buying
so I
that. I'm
understand.
sorry.
I want to bring up some recent news in regards to aliens, real quick.
Okay.
So, Dr.
they
Eric
they had a press release.
They did. This is
aliens.
from Dr. Eric Davis, who is I believe he's an astrophysicist at the Pentagon. And he was in
Glowing.
Congress recently at one of these hearings, blah blah blah. He said all that. Recently, he's come out and he's been talking to the New York Times, just talking about some more information. And he has said he's put out some thoughts and some comments, and he's revealed some information from the inside.
Oh.
I guess this is part of the soft disclosure. And this, so for some context, the Pentagon's already said that yes, UFOs exist. Yes, they defy physics. They exceed they exceed the performance of any of our own technology, and they said that the U.S. government is in possession of quote unquote off-world vehicles not of this earth. So here we are, fast forwarding to today.
But what's their end game for telling us that? Like there has to
Soft
be like an
disclosure,
ulterior
it's
motive.
they have to drip feed it to the population quietly, to the point where, like,
I don't know.
when they drip feed it like this, dude, like that level of, like, because you still like have that level of doubt in your head, right? You can just gloss over it and like, okay, no one's gonna freak out. It's out there now. You can't say they didn't say anything. You can't say they did either, because plausible deniability. Anyway. So, fast forwarding to today, Dr. Eric Davis has had some comments. He said, blah, blah, blah. So, when referring to recovered materials, he says, these materials could not have been synthesized or created on Earth. Internally, the name of the program has changed to something else, because of some shit that happened. And here's the big one. So he talks
Chainlink.
about crash retrievals with occupants inside.
Okay. Okay.
And then he makes some comments about how they may not be as benevolent as we think.
Good.
And,
I bet they aren't.
there are definitely some worrying ulterior motives going on here.
And that's
Ooh,
a good thing.
They
Here's what
and here's the thing, it takes there's no reason for them to go ooga booga mode and fucking like in Hollywood, they invade. It's
Yeah.
basically what he's saying is that shit's retarded. If they have like evil motives, there are much better ways.
Oh, they could just
to carry those
vaporize
out.
us or body snatcher us.
Yeah, but that's
they could,
stupid. Why would they do that? We're an asset. Like, life, if life exists, and I think it does, it's definitely not as abundant as like just material on its own in the universe, especially intelligent life.
Well,
You
we're,
could,
we're
like, to say-
we're functional debt cattle that can mine resources. Why wouldn't they?
Exactly,
Use us? Yeah?
exactly.
Yeah,
like, if
absolutely.
life exists, like, we're talking.
I don't think they
Like, we
keep us
have-
around just to mine shit. Like, if they can travel distances between stars, they can obviously have like artificial miners and stuff. I feel like
Some
if they
people-
keep us alive, it's for either a philosophical purpose or like a religious purpose. Like, perhaps they have a religion that wants them to propagate their specific sort of life throughout the stars or something.
Or it's the same reason we don't go into the safari and shoot every lion we possibly can, you know?
Exactly.
Maybe we're just a race of lions to them. We're cool animals that they don't want to just kill outright. It could be
maybe they've... I mean, here's the thing. They've definitely been observing us for a long, long time. But maybe they're just observing like a pivotal point in our evolution. Like the Great Filter or whatever it may be. We have nuclear bombs now. We are very much capable of wiping ourselves out. We're creatures capable of destroying all life as we know it on this planet.
And we have like the greatest thinkers of our generation, like Jordan Peterson. You know.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know about you, but I love what he's doing to the woke moralists out there.
Take that, woke moralists. I can't.
Okay, I'm glad you talked. Okay, now that you brought. Okay, so
no, I didn't.
Alongside
It's
the
over.
movie Smile, I saw that movie Don't Worry, Darling. You guys heard about that?
The one with Florence Pugh, one of the hottest girls ever right now. Yeah.
And the one of the guy from One Direction.
Yes, Harry Styles. Yes.
Just come out of the closet already, Ari.
Sure. Yeah, right.
So I was like looking up like reviews and should I go see this? And like everyone's like doing the whole like reactionary thing from the right and like Jordan Peterson lovers or whatever, and then you have like leftists talking about like, oh, it's the entire thing's about the patriarchy, blah blah blah. I went in with an open mind and I watched the movie, and you know what? I liked the idea, and I went in not knowing really anything at all.
Well, what is it?
Yeah. So, do you want spoilers?
I mean, I want spoilers, but don't
rundown.
just make it quick. I don't care that much about
All
this
right.
dumb movie.
So, it's about like 1950s America. It's like a breakaway 1950s society. You know, husband, wife, traditional gender roles, blah blah blah. Everyone's living in this kind of little mini utopia. There's this guy who is, and I immediately knew he was based on Jordan Peterson. He was. They're like, I guess they're trying to poke fun at him, make him look evil, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And of course, like, you know, the main character's like a woman who's like fighting back or whatever, blah blah blah. So she kind of something's wrong with this reality. She realizes something's wrong with this guy. She doesn't know. No one knows what their husbands do. Blah blah blah. And so the woman, this black woman, is like talking about how something's not right. Blah blah blah. She was silenced. She was killed. She she basically figures out that the Jordan Peterson figure guy is evil, and that this entire reality is basically like a Matrix-like virtual reality. Okay. And so like there's like a turning point in the film. Like this is like the twist in the story, where like when she breaks the illusion, she realizes that her husband was actually like an ugly, like 4chan incel neat.
Are you serious?
She was like a she was like a nurse that was like hardworking. She comes home, whatever, and like pays his bills, and like he's basically like a she boyfriend, like a loser, rotting away in his room, and she's like the breadwinner and this and that. And she's like a nurse and does all this and that. And he wanted to, I guess, from his standpoint, do good for his girlfriend or whatever. And he was like, he lost his job. And he's like, they literally show him like browsing through image boards. You know which one I'm talking about.
Oh my god, in heaven.
And
are you kidding me?
He's got like long hair, spots on his face now. He's like ugly, not as handsome as he was before. And like he finds this like thing. He finds Jordan Peterson or whatever. And like he's listening to these podcasts, right? He's like,
are you serious?
Yeah,
this is
it's
real?
like,
are you kidding?
Yeah, this is in the movie. This is the twist.
Yeah, he's playing the Pink Floyd.
And then
podcast.
they're talking about like how he created like this virtual reality like thing, like this escape breakaway society thing, like basically the Matrix, right? Like a self-inflicted Matrix that you can put yourself in. And he basically drugged his girlfriend, like chained her into the bed, and then like put her in this Matrix, made her like, gave her like the perfect life or whatever, and like made her happy in there, put himself in there as well. And it turns out that every guy in the Matrix was doing the same thing, and that's why like when they leave for work, their wives don't know where they are. They're actually like going
Awake.
off to break out of the Matrix, and like they'd have to like do whatever, blah blah blah. So anyway, she breaks this reality. She's like,
okay.
she breaks it to like some of these women, and like turns out, yeah, some of them were like it was hinted at that some of them were kidnapped and some of them were raped and blah 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 blah. And it's
just like it's like a weird version of Stepford Wives, honestly, like a lamer version.
I do think I think the movie's a really cool idea, but it was executed so. It fell on its face a bit. Like there was definitely something missing there, but I actually quite liked what it was trying to do.
Okay, all right. Well, that's fair enough then. It's I didn't know.
I
didn't know it had I didn't know it had a bent like that. I thought it was just a love story. I didn't know it had all that other stuff going on in there.
It's not a love story. It's anything but that.
I love
No,
how,
I just thought it was like an average
these
movie.
days,
Yeah,
the fucking villains have gone from like Sauron and like all these like big villains to just like basically the incel is like the main villain in films these days.
I know, and they always use people who it's like Ben Shapiro or Jordan Peterson, the most inoffensive anodyne figures you could possibly imagine that are the bad guys. When in reality, they don't really represent anything besides lower taxes and I don't know. Here's objective reality.
It's also like in society, they kind of people talk about how like, and I just want to make this clear. None of us are like on the side of like the incels or like extremists or whatever, but
don't speak for Tyson. You should have seen his Twitter before it went down. But
in society, they talk about how like
I'm a new woman.
They talk about how like these people don't matter, these young men, blah 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 blah. But it's like for people that don't matter, like goddamn, does the media really shed a spotlight on them as like the boogeymen? You know what I'm trying to say? Like
with stuff like that, yeah, it is a little bit over the top. It is a little bit over the top. There's ways to do left-leaning messages where it's not irritating. Like that show Jessica Jones, that show was left-leaning on Netflix and I enjoyed it anyways, and I don't usually swing
I mean,
that
we've
way,
said this before. The meme used to be that like the left can't meme and the right are the creative ones. But let's be fucking honest. That mantra died off a long time ago.
The right lives downstream from leftist culture for sure.
Yeah, it's not true anymore. I mean,
yeah. What were you gonna say, Tyson?
You guys made me forget.
Okay, good. Well, if you remember it, let me know. So I'm gonna reel us in back real quick. All right, gather around the campfire for one more. I got one more, maybe two, but one of them's really quick and. This one I think is... Yes, exactly. I'm going to settle it down. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. And there was one time on a night just like tonight, I was in an old apartment. Yes, at college. So this happened when I was around 21, 22. And me and my buddy, we were getting ready to go out one night. And I think the weather was about the way it is right now. And this was kind of a large college apartment, but it's in a very, very old building in an old city. And we were in my room just like talking and like, I don't even think we had any drinks yet at that point. And in the main room,
just chilling.
Exactly. I'm just chilling in Cedar Rapids, as Hillary Clinton would say. I don't think you guys know that joke, but that's okay. So we were hanging out in this room. And in the main room, there's on the table a basket full of crab apples. Do you guys know what a crab apple is? It's basically an apple that's about a fourth the size of a normal apple. So the
really sour ones, right?
Yes, on the table
Delicious.
In that main room, there were crab apples in a basket. So this main room was about, let's just say, 20 to 30 feet from my room when you walk out of it. So we were in my room, and we turned out of my room to leave the apartment, and I could see it come from the main room. A crab apple lifted itself out of the basket and flew into the air and hit my friend in the leg. And he looked down at it and looked up at me, and his mouth was wide open in astonishment. And he said, did you see that? And I said, yes. He said, that just came from the other room. It just came flying out of the other room. And I said,
damn.
I know. I just saw it too. And this is another friend who's just a big skeptic type. He can have fun and joke around about this kind of stuff, but he was dead serious about it. And I saw it fly out of the room from seemingly no discernible, I guess, trajectory or like propulsion into us. And it shot across the apartment and hit him in the leg. So whatever tossed that was trying to get our attention. It might have had malice. I'm not sure because it threw it at him.
So I have a question.
But, yes.
Did any one of you possess a death note at the time?
I don't think so. I don't think anyone had any death notes. But I'll tell you, I've messed around with ghost stuff on and off my whole life, so I'm not surprised when stuff like that happens.
No, poltergeist shit would scare the
Have you messed around
fuck
with
out of me.
No, that's fine. I forgot.
I've ghost hunted before a few times, like gone into houses and asked for, something to respond or something to make something happen. So yeah, I think I've
Dude,
I've
are
been pretty
fucking
open
Ouija
about
boards
it.
even real? I feel like that's so
I
fake.
think they're 1,000.
No,
I think they're
they're
1,000% real. And honestly, if you think it's fake, go mess with one so I can watch your life get like fucked in the face. So
Yeah, I'm not doing that. You're on your own.
no, I know. And that's like. Adam,
Are we doing that when I come
he's
to Philly? Let's do a Ouija board.
No, I don't know about that.
I'm not touching a Ouija board, dude.
I wouldn't, because I think it's very real. Okay. For instance, if you got on it and said, "Oh, who's talking to us?" and like your hands move and make it say David, who knows if that's real or not, or something's actually moving your hand? But your intent and what you're doing shows you're so unbelievably open that you're giving energy to entities when you do that. And I'm getting so... I've been watching My Ghost Story lately. It's really, really good. My Ghost Story, A Haunting, Ghost Nation. They're all really, really good stuff.
I'm not going to lie. If my hand wasn't the Ouija board, I would move it just to troll and shit.
Of course you would.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
You lie about when you're getting dinner. You're a prick. You're just
I lied one fucking time. Are you serious? You're going to hold that over my head?
I will. I need to have integrity. You can't lie to me about when you eat dinner. Why would you lie about when you eat dinner? It doesn't make any sense.
Moyer is that
I'm a recovering pathological liar, so you should be glad that I'm only lying about dinner and not anything else.
Well, hey, I'm holding you to the high standard that I believe you can be. Did you say Moyer's the girlfriend that?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah. That's what I said. No.
Yeah, but it's real. It's creepy.
It is, and yeah. I was gonna say poltergeist activity is the one that like I think I would be more scared of a poltergeist than I would be of like a literal alien standing in front of me.
Aliens scare me way more than ghosts, because I don't know what those little fuckers are up to. Ghosts is like, I'm a scary ghost, I'm a scary demon, I'm scaring you. Aliens, I don't know what they're doing.
You can kind of game theory the aliens and like presume like what their intentions are. Based on, like,
I had no idea.
Moyer, here's the thing though, right? If it was
ghosts,
like,
they could be like just demonic. So
but
when you're in a
you know
room,
what to expect from demons.
Moyer, imagine you're with like 3 guys, right? Your bros, whatever.
Oh, that's a really easy to imagine situation.
Okay,
lemonparty.org.
Yeah, that's not okay. What should you be more? Fuck's sake! Fuck's sake! What would you be more scared of? Like being in a room, like a dark room with a grey alien, like a fucking 3-foot grey alien, or a room with fucking Lucifer's voice that goes.
Alien.
Would you really be more scared of the alien? Like, you could just like beat the shit out of the alien.
There's I can just imagine you holding it by its neck and wringing its fucking gray alien neck.
Like,
just
They're gonna
rip its arms
tear you
off.
apart with like psychokinesis or some shit.
Yeah, actually, now that you mentioned Greys have been like, apparently they can like paralyze you if you look into their eyes and stuff. But it's 3 of you. Like one guy would be paralyzed, and the other would go like, the other guy would go around the back and like, yeah, because Greys can do genjutsu. I'm not even joking.
Dude, stop with this. Okay.
No, I'm not joking. Telepathy. They can. I know you know about this.
All right. Listen,
they can like ease pain and like they can freeze you and like put you to sleep. Like
all
they're
I'm
pretty good.
saying is
Holy
that
shit.
the most we
Guys,
know
guess
about
what?
alien. What?
I just looked at this key on my desk and it's has the number 666 on it.
That's kind of creepy. Are you serious or kidding? Or you're
I'm
lying?
actually serious. I'm actually serious.
Go on,
All
then.
right.
Take a picture.
Yeah, I will.
You truth teller.
All I'm saying is that there's a guidebook for demons, and it's called the Bible, so they are a known quantity. But aliens, the only evidence I have of them and their intentions is just ramblings of I before he disappears for 3 weeks. Like, there's nothing I can do about that. There's nothing I can do about that.
I like how the numbers just increase. At first it was 1
Yeah,
week, then it's 2 weeks, then it's 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're getting up there. So,
But
the thing is, no, the Bible does talk about aliens,
That's creepy.
and it says that God is on your side. So,
all right, I'll just take your word for it on that one. I'm not going to backcheck that.
you know, there are cases where like people would, when they're crying out in fear, they call upon like God's aid or whatever, and they, like the aliens would they'd shit themselves.
You want to
They
hear
could say
one?
anything else. They could say, "I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna shoot you." They don't do anything. But the moment they say like, "God help me," like they take a step back.
They kneel.
They're scared of God. I kneel,
Maybe,
Christ.
yeah. I mean, they're
They
probably.
could be.
I genuinely believe.
Why would
aliens
Christ
are
be
probably-
exclusive to humanity and not?
I don't
other
think. I don't
aliens?
think he is, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it just so happens that humanity is the one that subscribes to him.
That's a story I'm too scared to tackle, but
Yeah,
I
that's
get
a
what you're
difficult one. But like,
Uh,
I do think that aliens probably are very spiritual in some sense.
okay.
They kind of have to be, I think.
Yeah.
Well, when they show up, you can give them a gold star and bring them to Sunday school. How's that sound, kid?
We'll see
right.
how that goes down.
Does anyone have any other ghost stories? Because I got one more, and it's kind of romantic. Before we wrap up,
I got
I
I got some Kino news, which is related to spooky shit.
okay.
Silent Hill just got resurrected.
Oh, let's
it's
go.
fucking
Yeah.
back.
Mhm.
Yep, I saw
Mhm.
that remake for Silent Hill 2.
So
Looking good.
psyched for it. Holy shit.
Does that mean remake of the game? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's
The
a new
remake-
Silent Hill game.
No,
Okay.
there's a new one and there's a remake of Silent Hill 2 for the
Yeah,
PS2.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, I thought it had to do with the movie because the movie is fucking sick. I love that.
Is it
movie,
really?
And it's
Really?
yes, it's
I gotta watch
sick
it then.
and gross and kind of campy, but I liked it, and it was unexpectedly frightening. It was more frightening than I thought it would be. Let's say that. Let's just say it's a better adaptation than Resident Evil ever did with their games. So
Their movies were horrendous.
it just ignored it ignored everything that it shouldn't have. It went in the wrong directions. It's I don't know what
They
it
just
was.
need to turn Resident Evil 4 into a movie. That's all they had to do.
Yep, go head low. Go head low.
That's all
Yeah.
they had to do. I just wanted to add, Silent Hill 1 and 2 is peak aesthetic retro Kino. That's it.
Oh, dude, those polyblock graphics on PlayStation, and oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Tyson could never.
He could never. On a CRT, moi. Beautiful.
You're talking to the man who's been
I-
playing Wii Sports for the past couple months, so I think I'm used to it now.
Don't even... that can't compare.
He's a new man, folks. He's a new man.
Before you tell us, I just want to like it'll take like a minute or two, just
Yeah.
just tell you guys some about this cool rabbit hole I came across.
This cool coin called Chainlink.
All right, kid. So long story short, Marilyn Monroe was killed by the
Freudian slip.
CIA. What did I say?
Go ahead. Nothing. Keep going. You're doing great.
Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was killed by the CIA to stop her exposing the truth about Roswell aliens, and it was probably instructed by JFK.
I can believe it. After she sucked his schlanger.
Yep, and she died on my birthday.
Really? Maybe that's why the
August-
UFOs showed up. They're like, you a real one.
August 5th. And I think what this means is me and her we're connected. We are.
Maybe you are the reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe.
That's so hot. I should have made a move when we were in person then.
Perhaps.
Are you gonna start taking HRT? Are you?
So yeah, I'm not going to say too much, but I think it's an interesting rabbit hole that you guys can get into.
She was exposed to confidential information by sleeping with presidents, and then because she knew it, they had to kill her, right?
Yeah, and she was in talks with people connected to the president, and one of her friends in New York, I think, was some guy at like some fucking carpet store or something. Or it might have been an art store. She was like buying something there, and he was leaking to her information about how JFK was going to a deep underground military bunker to meet with, I think it was either meeting with aliens or at least looking at their bodies and artifacts, something like that.
Also,
wait, what?
Okay.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay.
What?
No, that's just interesting. Go ahead, Tyson.
Why would she care about this shit? Like,
That's massive, though.
That's interesting.
You have to remember the 1960s, Tyson. I don't know if you knew this, Tyson, but for some context, 1960s America was UFO crazy, and that people were probably more inclined to believe in the existence of aliens than they are today.
Yeah,
okay,
because
sure.
people. I think I might agree with that. Because people are just faithless bums nowadays, just empty husks of human beings.
And back then, it was a frenzy.
Can we agree that she's not even that hot? Like,
relax,
up,
Tyson.
Dude, what the
oh my
fuck,
god,
man?
dude, the garbage that you've been posting lately, I can't even take you seriously, dude.
What?
Like even
The
the
fucking
girls you post are ugly. Like what am I supposed to do with that?
Kino.
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
I can't believe you said that.
Yeah, he's getting a rise out of us, and it's working. So I hope he's proud of himself. He took it out of my playbook.
Unironically, Anna de Armas in the movie that plays Marilyn Monroe is hotter than fucking Marilyn Monroe.
Yes, but that's not.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah.
That's not. That doesn't. It's not taken away from the fact that the real one isn't. I don't know what you're getting at here.
She's mid as fuck, bruh.
If that's mid to you, Tyson.
Yeah, good luck ever getting anything done here. Are these all nudes of Marilyn Monroe? So I guess these all exist. She was naked a lot. That's crazy. No, come on, Tyson. You can't tell me that you don't find. Look at this picture. Look at this picture I just posted. 1949. Look at her there.
Damn. Is that real?
That might not be real. That's from celebjihad.com. So
Celeb Jihad.
Let me just do. Let's just do Marilyn Monroe hot here. No, she's captivating.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe it's just because I really don't like the fucking short, like frizzy kind of hair that she has because it's a turn off. It's a major.
Or you're just you're completely desensitized to classically good looks because your brain has been TikTokified by thick and anime.
No. I love and enjoy women with long hair, like waist length. So.
All right. Well, she'd probably look good if she had that.
I just want to add something.
Go ahead. Yeah.
You know that key thing Tyson posted? He said it said 666.
Yes, it says 668, doesn't it?
It says 658.
Yeah, I was wondering how long it took you guys to know this.
You're just pretending to be retarded.
If you squint, it looks like 666.
I hope you die in your sleep tonight. That would make my day the next day because you're on a different time zone. So I would wake up to the good news. So let's hope. You know who's an old... I always thought Audrey Hepburn was a really hot, like, old actress, too. But that's just me. It's very classical.
You know who's a fucking classical beauty? Raquel Welch.
Who?
She's so hot.
Who is that? Let's see.
Oh,
okay.
Walsh.
Yeah, she is. You know that chick in that TV show Gidget was hot too. Hold on.
Inspector Gadget?
Yeah. No, her name was Gidget, and she was fucking smoking hot.
How did we get onto this?
I don't know. Well, Tyson got me running with the Marilyn Monroe stuff, and now it's fully off the bandwagon. But I'll get it. You know what? We're actually talking about waifus, so I'll end us with a ghost story of an imaginary one. And I've had a lot of things happen. Like, I'm not one of those people who takes a lot of stock in, I was half awake, but I saw something really weird, and I swear it was real. Your story's got to be when you're fully awake, but I might as well go all in with this one. So I've seen weird things in my half awake sleep, like we all have. I've seen a weird cave troll. I saw that spider. I've seen strange like vampire women. Some say I've had a run-in with a succubus before.
Yeah,
but this is one story where I was sleeping at a friend's house in a guest room, and I was in a large king-size bed. And when I woke up, It was. I remember it being a little bit bright out, 5 or 6 in the morning, kind of bright out. But when I woke up in my half sleep, there was an Asian woman standing in the bed, as in she was standing on the.
Me on the left.
Yeah, it was Tyson. She didn't have a chin strap, so she was standing on the floor, but her whole body went through the bed, and I was half awake. And I rubbed my eyes, and she was still standing there next to me, and her body was through the bed, and she was sitting there staring down at me, and she was like a geisha-type Asian woman. Not quite like The Grudge, not that creepy, but creepy enough. And she was looking down at me, and I instinctively, I recoiled a little bit, but then I couldn't control myself. She reached out her hand towards mine, and I just instinctively reached out my hand towards hers, and as my hand got closer to hers, I could feel like a sensation going through my hand up my arm the closer it got to her hand and her arm. And then it probably was getting there. It felt nice, whatever the feeling was, and I reached out to her, and she looked down at me, and then she opened her mouth a little bit and then disappeared into thin air. It's like she was trying to say something, and then she disappeared, and then I fully woke up 100%. So it was really strange, and it was. I understand that people. What's that called? Sleep paralysis. I understand it could have been something like that, but it felt different than usual sleep paralysis. It felt so real, and I felt like I had a real interaction with something staring down at me, and it was kind of creepy, Grudge-like. So, but random Oriental woman that was standing in the bed.
Shit. Just have you guys ever had this dream where you wake up and you think that you've woken up in reality, but something's a bit off, and then you can't fucking wake up from that dream itself?
Yes,
I've had this fucking dude, like 2 years ago, I had this fucking endless loop where I would keep waking up, but I would wake up in the dream world. Like, I woke up in the dream world like fucking 4 times, and it would seem exactly like the real world. So
I wonder if that's stress related, because when I did something really bad one time, I was dreading telling the person the next day, and I had the same dream 8 times over of like how I told them and how they reacted. So I don't know. It could be something like that. So it's
back when I was in school,
related.
and I like get up to get ready for school, and had like when I wake up from my sleep, like, right, I need to get ready, and then like I'll get out of my bed, blah, 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 get ready for school, blah, 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 and then I wake up in my bed all over again. It turns out like me getting ready was all just a dream.
That's such a pathetic dream.
And then I actually have to get up, and it just feels so much worse.
I fucking hate brushing my teeth. I would hate to do that, dude. That would be
one
so
time
annoying.
I just had a dream where I just fucking.
Oh wait,
took
you're
an
British.
Uber.
You don't have to, but yeah, go ahead.
There's this dream where I just took an Uber to the train station, and I just woke up.
Oh, dude! Now I have something. I have a dream for you. Go and finish your thought, Tyson. This is a good one.
No, that's it. I just took an Uber to the
Oh
train
no,
station.
I was just gonna say I love when you have dreams where it's just you're just doing nothing. Like it's just stupid. You just like wake up and do something stupid. I don't know. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I'm just gonna set the scene here. So this is this was a dream where I think I may have accidentally or inadvertently looked or peered into a parallel universe, and remote viewed it in first person. Okay, hear me out, Tyson.
I believe
I was in my dream. I was back to 14-year-old me, and normal day. Wake up in my bedroom back then. Blah blah blah. Getting ready for school. Didn't think much of anything. Turns out I walk to school now, even though it's kind of far from where I am, but I guess that's what I was doing, so I rolled with it. Everything was normal, roads are normal, just as I remember them, layouts were slightly different, but nothing weird. My body, I guess, is kind of moving on its own. I was kind of, I guess, in spectator mode, watching myself go to school. And
What, like
then
GTA?
I was like halfway there, and then things started to get weird. So I was at undisclosed location. Obviously, I'm not going to dox that. But now, where in the world that I know, there is like a little, it's like a little mini cafe and like a police station nearby. There was now a train station, which there'd never been a train station there ever. No railway, nothing. So I guess I'm going in there then. Here I am, and I'm now hopping on a train, and I'm seeing.
Is this Harry Potter?
No, it's not.
You went to 9 3/4 station, you fucking British loser. Fuck
No. And here I was, just like,
Mummy, I want to go to Hogwarts.
Shut the fuck up. Seeing a different side of this town, whatever, blah blah blah, and I'm taking routes that I've never seen before, railways I've never seen before, undergrounds I've never seen before, and I make it to school, and school is slightly different. For context, my school is I don't want to dox it, but it's hundreds and hundreds of years old, and it was a lot more. It looked a lot older, like a lot of the older architecture was there.
Interesting. Time skip.
And yeah, kind of like, I guess they never changed that part of it. Like, I guess if they kept the railway, then they kept this. So anyway, yeah, get to school, blah blah blah, and that's about it. Yeah, nothing really changed there. I wake up from this experience, and I thought that was really weird, but it was like very, very, very real and very normal. So I actually the first thing I did was I just got my phone out and I looked into the history of the area. It turns out there actually was a train station in that exact spot, which was only shut down 100 or so years ago.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
With a railway and everything. Everything was all there. And yeah, I mean the school's old and all that, and the architecture was old like that. But like, yeah, there was actually like a train station and a railway going through that town 100 years ago. And I was like, maybe, like, did I just peer into a world where, like, only 100 years ago that wasn't shut down?
Yeah, that may be very possible. A little time travel action there.
Did you notice?
No, it wasn't time travel though, because it was the modern day. It was like.
Did you notice any cues about technology, like with their smartphones and shit?
Yeah, I had my smartphone and everything.
Oh, so maybe you were in a different reality where that train station didn't shut down.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. I definitely was not in the past. My Xbox is in my room. So,
even down to the Xbox. Yeah, that's interesting. I thought you were going to go a different route, because I had a dream one time where there was an old man who looked through a portal on the ground and saw a different dimension, and it drove him mad, and then he fell in. He was like, fell in. It was so funny.
He does like a Mr. Bean fall. It's like, whoop.
Yeah, whoa.
oh no.
Oh, dude, when I was in London, there was Mr. Bean on TV, and I was like, what is this shit?
Love Mr.
He's so fucking
love me some Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean is high tier Kino.
He is.
Oh no, I gotta go.
No,
but I watched a lot of Gordon Ramsay Kitchen Nightmare though. I did start liking that.
That's good.
Absolutely.
By the way, Ari, your story reminded me of another story that my dad told me like a few weeks ago. Apparently, when I was a fucking baby, I would like randomly say a bunch of like numbers, and
my god, it's such an Asian.
It gets so much better, right? I'd have fits where like I'd like fucking blurt out like random numbers and shit, and then my dad took these. My dad,
dude, was it autism?
Dude, my dad took
out barcodes from the manufacturing line. From the factory he was made in.
My dad took these numbers, he bought lotto tickets with it, and he won the lottery like 3 times.
Oh,
What?
stop it!
No.
Oh,
but
shut
no.
up.
I believe
wasn't,
it. I believe
It wasn't like fucking like massive like millions. He won like 10
No, I
grand,
getcha.
20 grand like a couple times. But
Tyson
yeah,
is
Oh.
the best trader I know, so I actually kind of believe that.
I know. I unfortunately have to believe a little bit of that, but because Tyson lied about when he ate dinner a month ago, I
off,
can't get
dude.
fully on board with that.
Why do you care about my dinner lie?
There's the magical fuck off satisfying Tyson's anger right there.
Hey, so, yeah, exactly. Fuck off, dude. Hey, someone's got to hold you
off.
accountable. Someone's got to hold you accountable. That's all I'm saying. So,
Dude, you would have hated me if we met in high school.
oh, you're probably one of
lie.
those annoying kids in elementary school or middle school that just say, "Oh, my dad is Mega Man" or something, and I just lie about random stuff. Yeah.
I said that my dad had like was a CIA spy and he had like his own landing strip for his plane and shit in my house.
Well, you're doing, yeah, that sounds really similar to my dad played random lottery numbers and won 3 times. So, yeah,
No,
I
but
guess
my
some
mom
things
confirmed
never
it, though.
change. My mom confirmed.
Yeah, mine's an astronaut.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we put in some overtime here, but it was for good reason. So, you guys have any last rights, any last words on the back end here? Or are we ready to roll out?
So, have you guys heard of Masonic the Hedgehog?
Stop it.
All right.
Please free me from this prison.
You ever wondered why Green Hill Zone
The
has
absolute
checkerboard
state.
patterns?
Oh my gosh, that's like they did that with Mario as well. That it was Masonic.
Sonic
so.
predated that, and his name is literally Sonic.
What does that mean?
Masonic. It's in the name.
Oh, okay, that's a lot to
I
look
thought you were trying
into.
to be like a redditor, like you know, like
No,
NUH.
Masonic the Hedgehog. The checkerboard patterns. You've got the chaos rituals. You've got
The chaos gems.
the chaos. Anyway,
You know, I won't. You're making me want to talk about crisis actors and Walmart detainment camps, but that's conspiracy.
that's
is
good
not.
though. It's good
That's
stuff.
not Halloween stuff. Yeah, it's 100% good
Oh,
stuff.
no,
that they
absolutely is Halloween stuff.
that for some reason was found to be true and then scrubbed off the internet within the past 2 years. So wow, okay, cool. I guess I'm crazy. So whatever, it's fine. No one cares.
What's the?
but-
I really want to get into the Walmart, but I think we'll save it.
I will cram a Walmart pill down your fucking throat one episode. You won't be ready for it. So actually, you'll be in one clanking a pot against the jail cell walls in the plant section in Walmart soon when they're putting you in there for the end times. But whatever. People won't know till it's too late. That's all I'm saying. But
real quick, I think you guys should DCA into Aptos. It is a new coin just launched. It's a layer 1. It competes with Solana. And I'm hearing buzz that it's gonna... A lot of people are DCAing into it. And I don't know. I keep hearing this phrase that it's gonna be Solana 2.0. And that its price action is as irregular as Solana was back like last year when it pumped.
and what was it called again?
APT, Aptos.
Aptos. Let me look that up real quick.
It might like mega dump, so I'm just gonna scale in like really slowly from this point.
I can't even find it from a cursory Google. Okay, Aptos CoinMarketCap. Okay, yeah, it's somewhere out there. I accidentally Googled CoinMarketCap and it says Turkish Basketball Federation fan token price. Let's see what that. Wow, it's up 0.7%. Okay.
And last thing, dude, I watched House of the Dragon. It's so fucking good. It's unreal. Holy shit! I take back everything
you were
I
telling
said.
me about that. Yeah, you were telling me about that. So
And the main girl, I don't know how I ever thought she was ugly. She's so fucking hot, dude. Holy shit.
Well, I got some Bleach to watch too, so there's some good shows getting tossed around these days. Actually, I'm mourning right now because The Witcher is going through a big change because Henry Cavill has quit The Witcher. But that's more for a different time because I've never played the games, but I'm a Witcher book boy, so I'll tell you that much right now. But do you got anything to say to help wrap us up?
You're filthy.
Oh my god. Jesus.
Bastard.
I'm sorry. I didn't. I didn't mean to. I'm about to come. I'm not stupid.
I can't listen to any more of this.
I am good at Apex Legends.
That was kind of scary. All right, guys.
It's a bit too real, that one.
Yeah. What? Did you play something? Because I didn't hear anything. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, guys. Until next year, have a spooky Halloween.